into some of the citizen movement for biodiversity conservation in India. This is just a sample. It does not cover all the major ones, but the important ones. Okay. So you must have heard of Bishnoi community. Which state of India do they belong to? Any idea? Good, Prachi. That's the right answer. They belong to Rajasthan. Okay. Now, I just tried to do some research and some very interesting thing I found. So this community itself has been formed relatively late. When I say relatively late, means the concept of Bishnoi is about 500 years old. Okay, so there is this revered person called Guru Jambeshwar. You have heard of his name, Guru Jambeshwar. So he is considered as the Bishnoi. So roughly correlates with this. Their language means 20. If is in Hindi, Bis there is 20, and Noi they say is 9. So there were 29 precepts of this sect, which the people were supposed to follow, of which one of the precept is safeguard the environment. Okay, so Guru Jambeshwar, Bishnoi, Rajasthan, 15th century approximately. So by 15th, 16th, 17th century, by 17th, 18th century, they were a dominant group in a particular part of Rajasthan. So as it happens, there is this Maharaja of Jodhpur. Okay, Maharaja of Jodhpur, somewhere in the 18th century, 1740 is what the record says. Somewhere in 18th century, he is the Maharaja of Jodhpur, so he wants to build a new palace. So in order to build a new palace, he sends his men to cut certain trees so that he can make whatever, furnishings or whatever. So his soldiers, they are under order from the king to get as many logs as possible so that the palace can be built. When they go there, they were surprised that, of course, the men of the village had gone for work. So it was the women who were there in their houses. So when the soldiers came out of their, stepped down from their horses, and they're taking their axes and other cutting instruments and going towards the village, going towards these trees. It is the women who first pleaded them, okay, requested them, pleaded them, tried to physically stop them. But obviously the soldiers were stronger. And when nothing happened, the women just went and they embraced the trees. They hugged the trees. Yeah, they hugged the trees or they embraced the trees. Now, this created an ethical dilemma for the soldiers. On one hand, they are under orders to get the logs from the trees. On the other, the woman is now daring him to say, if you have to cut the tree, you first have to cut me. You first have to kill me. So the lady's name is Amrita Devi. It is immortalized in the NCERT textbook, the younger ones, 4th and 5th standard. So Amrita Devi, along with around 300 of her friends, that the Khejri is the name of the village, Khejri or something. So they went and embraced trees, and around 300 women were killed by the soldiers. Now, as the soldiers are killing more and more people, and the king got to know, the king felt that this was very bad and he stopped it. But by then, 300 people had already died. So such is the level of commitment of the Bishnoi community towards conservation of biodiversity. So in this case, it was the example that I gave you was for the trees. So as a practice, traditionally, they will go to any extent to protect the environment, for the simple reason that this is one of the 29 precepts which was preached by their Guru Jambeshwar. Now, fast forward to year 1998. Okay, so in 1998, one gentleman went there. Okay, well, the context is not that important, but just for fun, he saw black bucks there, and he had this rifle, hunting rifle, and he killed 2 black bucks. He killed 2 black bucks. Okay, any idea who is this gentleman that I'm talking about? Won't be asked in films, but it will help you to remember it in yeah, it is Salman Khan. So he killed these 2 black bucks, and they were shooting for a movie in Jodhpur. And at that time, he had no clue that it would be so serious. So one thing led to another, and he was eventually convicted by a lower court with 5 years of imprisonment. Of course, it's a different thing that moves from High Court and Supreme Court and all that. It has not come to Supreme Court. It as you can see, they are steadfast in their devotion of protecting the biodiversity, be it flora or fauna. The reason why I gave these two stories is these two stories amply demonstrate that traditionally in India there are communities which consider forest as their family. They consider forest as their family. Okay, so that's on the Bishnoi and conservation. Let's look at another conservation movement which really brought Indian environmental conservation to the global map. That was Chipko movement. Chipko. Yeah. So Chipko here, it's the Hindi word Chipko. So there is no English word for it as Chipko. So Chipko is no, it's not sticking. It is once again, how do I say? Chipko is what? Get attached. Means not the emotional attachment, means get physically attached. Yeah. So that is Chipko, which is in a way shows the same philosophy of embracing the trees. If you just Google Chipko movement, no, there is one very nice image of women, just holding hands and protecting a tree. Okay, so that's Chipko movement. So this originated in Uttarakhand, and it was done by the women for several years, anyways. But the person who brought this concept of Chipko movement at a national and global level was a Gandhian by the name Sundarlal Bahuguna. Okay, and he used a very interesting slogan. He said, "Ecology is the permanent economy." So interesting, no? Which means if there is no ecology, you will have no economy. And based on this, there were several other movements which got inspired by Chipko movement, both in India and outside India. The one movement which got inspired in India purely from the Chipko movement, and the Chipko movement was Uttarakhand. The next movement was in Karnataka, called as the Apiko movement. So Apiko movement was exactly the same. And the word Apiko is attached or hugging. So the word Apiko in that part of Karnataka, that slang of Kannadiga, was hugging. And the gentleman who spearheaded this was Pandurang Hegde. Yeah, in case you need to know some important persons associated with the environmental movement in India. So Bishnoi, Amrita Devi, 18th century. Chipko movement, Sundarlal Bahuguna, 1970s. Apiko movement, Pandurang Hegde. This is 1983. 1983. I'm just writing the year here. So these are some important conservation movement. And interestingly, Uttarakhand always has a track record of producing a lot of environmentalists. I don't know if you're aware of this lady, who's also quite an important environmentalist. Have you heard of her? Vandana Shiva. Yeah. So she has done a lot of work related to biodiversity legislation. We'll see where she has actually helped and what